Sweet.
Okay, we're live everywhere right now.
Yay.
So hi everyone. I have Ellie with me today, so as soon as she gets in here, we can start.
So hi everyone.
There we go.
Now
Now your computer
away on the Insta.
and turn your phone volume down basically as much as it goes. Hi.
Hi. How's it going, everyone? Oh, this is weird. So we're on two screens right now for anyone watching, and one of mine is mirrored one way, and one of them is mirrored the other way.
Yeah.
That's
okay,
fun.
cool.
Hi, everyone.
So, I don't hear an echo. I hear a little bit of an echo.
Let me just turn my phone all the way down.
Okay.
Is that okay? Because I can just hear you through.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Better.
Oh.
I think.
Turn it back up.
I don't know. Do you have your laptop volume on?
Yeah.
Turn the laptop volume off.
And turn the phone volume on?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Thank you for being patient, everyone. While
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I think that's
okay.
Better.
Yeah. Good?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Cool. Hi, guys. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. If you've watched every single one of these, or just a couple of them, you might have caught Ellie. We talked about Twitter last time she was on here.
We did.
And today we're going to talk about touring.
Yay.
So if you want to talk about a little bit, just refresh their memory on who you are and what you do.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ellie Hart. I'm a tour manager and artist manager. And I run a nonprofit called Lead DIY, which brings awareness about epilepsy and light sensitivity in regards to shows using strobe lighting. I am not on tour right now, obviously, but of the past year and a half or so, I've been on tour for about a year of total time. I work with a bunch of smaller, like indie and punk and underground bands. I am a glorified babysitter. No, that's not true at all. That's not true at all. My bands don't need babysitting. They're fine. What else? I recently, since I haven't been touring, I live at a house venue in Bowling Green, Ohio called the Summit Track. So one of the people that I work very close with is an agent who books a lot of bands that I tour with. And they had to stop booking tours. So we started a online series of shows. And what we did for that was it started because we were supposed to have a big festival, a 2-day festival with 40 bands in Bowling Green at one of the bars and venues downtown. And obviously that all got canceled. So we're like, well, like what can we do to like still have something for all these people who look forward to this event? So what we ended up doing was we had a fantastic team of a bunch of our friends in Minecraft build stages for each of the 40 bands. They did this in under a month. It was about a team of like 10, 15 people building like huge, elaborate stages. And the bands would send in either a playlist of their favorite songs, an audio recording that they did specifically for the event, let's see, what else? Or like a video in some cases. So how this worked was we streamed the entire event on Twitch, which is a gaming streaming platform.
That's so cool.
It was really cool. I'm not big into Minecraft, so my job was moderating the Twitch stream. So I was just looking at my monitor going like this, like, is that appropriate for like 2 days straight? Because we did do it over the course of 2 days. And the cool thing about ours was it was completely donation based. So all of my other job was money. So all of my different Venmo, PayPal, Cash App is plastered across the entirety of DIY Twitter. I am still accepting donations, but they will be for me. In case anyone
I will gladly take them. Please give them.
So we did that, and then we ended up making, I think, close to $1,500, which was distributed between the 40 bands. So that's kind of how we did our version of the online show. And then in one of the bands, actually, they're called Origami Angel. When their set came on, Minecraft crashed because we were also allowing people to get into the Minecraft server itself, like people who played Minecraft, and go in and explore, as well as having basically cameras on the Twitch stream.
Mm-hmm.
So in one of the bands, Origami Angel, put together this really cool, like, stripped down, like, almost hip-hop set of covers of their songs, and it crashed our entire system in both Twitch and Minecraft. And later, their record label, Counterintuitive Records, also good friends, they pressed that set of songs that that were being played that, you know, broke Minecraft, and it's a 1,000 black variant vinyl. So we have one downstairs, and they say on the record, the guy says, you know, thanks to Summit Shack for having me. So now we have a Summit Shack copy of the Origami Angel. Origami Angel Minecraft, which is pretty cool.
That is really cool.
It's kind of how we've been adjusting.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it is an adjustment. But you guys have been doing a really good job.
It's definitely fun. I like my hair's in my face. I'm sorry. It's kind of cool to be able to have made that adjustment, because there have been, like, Minecraft, and I think everyone who is doing any live stream is bringing their own, like, different vibe into it of how it's working for them or how they're making it work.
Right.
But the different, like, we were able to, like, just get the entire community together. And for anyone who works in music, you know how hard it is to get bands to do things when you're not directly in person over their shoulder telling them to do things. So it was really cool to be able to have all those people, like, come together and really, like, grind it out to be able to make this thing work. All in all, like, there were probably, including, like, the builders for the stages, the like, people in the bands, and, like, other admins who are moderating the chat, and just people, the different moving parts. There were probably about, like, 100 people in total making this thing work. And it was just a really cool experience to be able to be involved in something like that.
Yeah, that sounds so fun.
It was
awesome.
Fun. And we actually made money, so
yeah, that's definitely good. So the first question I had down here is, what was the transition like from having to book live venues to trying to do virtual shows? Like, was there a big learning curve that had to be made or anything like that?
Yes and no. For those of you who know me, like, the music scene I work in is, like, we don't super involve a lot of agents. Like, if, for example, I've shows in my house, if I was asking someone to play a show, like a local band from around here, I just, like, shoot them a DM and be like, hey, Team and A, do you want to play this show with X, X, and X on the tour that's coming through? And they'd say yes or no. Mm-hmm. And that same idea has kind of continued over into booking live shows. In terms of bands that have, like, bigger agents, I don't really know, because the organization level that we're working with is, we have the stream, we have the content, and it's donation based. So you can donate if you want to, but you don't have to get in. Mm-hmm. But with other live streams, it's that they just want to have a live stream. They just want to play music to, you know, the internet and keep their names out there and stuff like that. And I would recommend to anyone who's managing bands right now, or to any bands, like, just do as many live streams as you can. Keep your name out there. It's going to take you, if you're a smaller band, I wouldn't ask necessarily for financial compensation. Like, a smaller band is in making music is not your like overall source of income.
Right.
Is kind of how I would define that. Like, just keep your name out there, do whatever like live stream that you want to or can. And then there are also some bigger streams. Like, I have some friends in this band called Dogleg that are doing a stream with Audio Tree Live on, what day say? On Monday. And I have no idea how their like payment is working, but I do know that Audio Tree, which is a company that does live sessions, and then we'll repost them on the internet. They're a super great company. I've done 2 of their live sessions. Hold on, I think my phone just closed. So I've been at 2 of their live sessions. They're having, you know, a similar like live session. And to clarify, they do live sessions when like the world isn't on fire. So they, hold on, I gotta put it next.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Now you're back.
Okay, cool. So
Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter just heard what you said, but Instagram did not.
Okay. So basically, I have friends who are in this band called Dogleg. They're doing a live stream through Audio Tree Live. And I know that their Audio Tree is charging for like tickets or entry to that live stream, and it's not a lot of money at all. And I think that that's a fair thing to do. I'm just, we've had like a little bit of trouble working with like payment and stuff at the Summit Track, because we do accept donations, but like all of our income that we make from these live streams, well, we don't make any income. Anything that gets donated just goes directly to the artist. There's no like guarantee or anything. Like, it's like, you know, you might make $40 each over the course of 40 bands. You might make, you know, like $600 if you're like in a bigger band, because that's what donation is going to. Or, you know, you might just not make any money because there's 4 bands on the bill and it was a smaller show on like a weird night and not a lot of people could come.
Right.
And hold on, I'm gonna turn my low battery off and then see, because Instagram is losing me a bit. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Little technical difficulties, but we'll fix it.
Okay, let's try that. Technical difficulties.
Okay.
I'm sorry. But yeah, so we're still trying to navigate the money aspect, and I've been telling my bands that like, if you get money, then that's cool, but you shouldn't be doing this for the money.
Right, exactly. And that like brings up another question, which like, what do you think is the most beneficial thing about doing, you know, like free live streams?
So I mean, in this day and age, as in like prior to the world being on fire, I would say that the best way that a band can make money is by touring, because not only does that bring you, it gives the fans an experience. The fans can purchase your merch, which is what's gonna, or like music physicals, which is what's gonna bring you the most money, because as like a smaller artist, and they, you know, it's like the band is coming to your city, like it's personalized for you. Every show is different. So if you can't do that, if you can't have that same in-person experience, with just because of, you know, safety right now, and that's what's most important, the best thing to do is just keep your name going, have people, you know, remember who you are. If you can do 1 live stream a month in my opinion, then that's probably the best. I'm probably one a month. If you can do more, then that's great, but it like just whatever works right now.
Yeah, I agree completely. We usually say like to like aim for one a week, but also life, so it probably won't happen. But it's definitely important to like get on a schedule with it and stay committed to that schedule.
Yeah, for
That way
sure.
you have time to promote and you know like when you're promoting for.
Exactly.
Cool.
And I think so there's this also think that for people who are organizing the live streams, it's really helpful to have a series. So like almost like a TV show. You know, you're gonna tune in to Glee on Fox at 9 p.m. on Tuesdays. Can you tell I was really into Glee in high school? But like or you're gonna tune into Luigi's Mansion live stream. That's a venue in Philadelphia. Great people. They have a live stream. I don't remember what day of the week it is, but they have a live stream every week with a certain amount of bands. I think it's 4 or 5 bands usually, and that creates a consistency for like if the stream in general is high quality, then that creates like a consistency for fans, and they can tune on and maybe like if one band they know that they want to see is on there, then you're getting the same advantage as you would in a touring band. It's you got the locals too, so if you like the one band that's on there, you learn about 4 more, like same sort of thing as it would be with a tour. And I think it's very smart for venues, like especially smaller venues, to be having the same thing, because when you're going to a smaller venue pretty regularly, it becomes, whether you want it to or not, the place that you go to find new good music. So it can be the same thing online. Like, it doesn't have to be anything, special, but as long as it's consistent, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right. I completely agree. Have you found that there's any like a big difference or any differences at all, even if they're little, in promoting a live show versus trying to promote like a virtual show or a live stream?
I think it's been a really big learning curve for everyone involved in like live music in general, because at the beginning we didn't know how to book these shows or to ask for guarantees or anything, and we didn't really know how to promote them. But we did, like, for my scene, like we did do a lot of promotion, like in person. If you were running the venue, like slap posters around town, like old-fashioned way, word of mouth type stuff. But we also did most of our promotion online, so it hasn't changed like a whole lot, but it certainly changed in trying to stand out from other like different like live streams that are going on, or being like, oh, okay, X has a live stream on this day, so we can't do it this day. And they if you're on a tour and your show overlaps with another show in town, then like that'll happen for one city. So or like maybe 2 or 3 if they're like similarly routed. But if you have a show that overlaps with another show online, that's for everyone. Like it's gonna affect like any viewership that you have. So it is kind of a competition sometimes. You just have to like keep an eye on it, keep your ear to the ground when you're booking yours, and make sure that just like you're talking to other people. At least in the community that I'm involved with, like, sure, it's a little bit of a competition sometimes, but we're not trying to like mess with anyone else intentionally. Right. We're just, it's just a matter of like, how can we get?
Unfortunately, we're all trying to do the same exact thing.
Yeah, and same thing with conflict. Like, you don't want people who are, let's use these two as an example again. Like, you don't want Nice and Origami Angel, who have a lot of similar fans, to be playing a online show in two different places, because they're both going to pull from each other. Like, if you're in a position where you're trying to like work with the bands and do what's best for the bands, which I think is kind of what all of the venues and hosts of these live streams are trying to do right now, then, you know, you gotta give a little. You gotta work with each other.
Yeah.
And not, you know, let competition, because ultimately house venues in the, like, during tour, they're not competing with each other if they're not in the same city. So, like, why turn online into a competition? Like, everyone take your turn and do what you do best, and just try not to, you know, mess with each other, I guess.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm rambling and straying away from the question.
No, you're not. It's good. Was there any like reluctancy from bands to like move over to doing virtual touring? I know that it must have been, you know, hard to accept.
Yeah,
this is what we have to do.
Yeah. At first, yeah, it was a little hard to get. Well, in general, it was hard to get people on board, because just from a manager's perspective, not like a venue runner's perspective. I wear so many different hats, Kayla. But it was hard to be like, okay, we're not going to make money by doing this. Like, is there really a justification of taking the time out of our day to do this? But ultimately, like, I think everyone came around to the idea. We at the Summit Shack had a little bit harder time, because one of our like online bills had an artist called Beach Bunny on it, which is definitely the biggest artist that the Summit Shack has ever worked with. And they just came on like as a favor, and we were so psyched to have them. But that got a little more complicated in terms of money, just because we'd never worked with an artist that big before. And it kind of, sometimes there were some, like, not arguments, but like some disputes, or like us trying to figure out billing. And what it came down to eventually is like, we just all realized, like, this isn't a show. Like, people aren't going to leave early, or people aren't going to come late because they don't want to be standing as long and miss the opener. People aren't going to leave after the band that they want to see if that's the opener, because what else are they doing, you know?
Right.
Like, they don't have to take a 30-minute subway ride home to go to bed to be up for work the next morning. They just gotta, you know, kind of sit in their bed and chill and listen to music, and be active in the chat if they wanted to be. But yeah, so we kind of got to the point where we realized, like, okay, unless this is like a band's album release show, it doesn't matter what order you go in, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so there was the only time we gave like guarantees to bands was for the festival that we had to like reroute to be online. Mm-hmm. So some of the bands on that had asked for guarantees, and we're like, yes, like, you're obviously doing this for us. This is what we already agreed to. We're of course going to honor your guarantee. Right. So that was the only time that money was like a huge issue. But again, with that festival, we made so much more than we expected to. Just strictly based on donations. My Venmo was a mess. Just so many people, you know, and we are so grateful for that. And it was a really, really cool experience.
Yeah, it sounds like it was. It's so cool. Someone asked a question. Live streams were a huge thing in the beginning of quarantine. but after the police brutality in early June, haven't seen much that aren't on hiatus. And how do you know if it's okay to go back to live streaming?
Can I ask who asked that question? Was it in?
Ari Vitus?
Oh, hi Ari. This is a friend of mine.
Did you just butcher that?
Okay, so this has been something that we personally struggle with a lot here at the Summit Shack. We had a show coming up that was like 4 of like our favorite bands, like really people that we admire in my scene and friends of ours, close friends of ours. And I'll list them for you real quick. It was Dogleg, who I talked about earlier, Mover Shaker, the Callous Dow Boys, and Guitar Fight from Fooly Cooley, who just released a really good album. So that was scheduled for June. That was scheduled for June 6th. No, June 4th. And that was about maybe 2 or 3 days during the George Floyd incident. 2 or 3 days after it.
I think it was 2 days after the social media blackout.
Yeah. So we have some close friends in Minneapolis, and a lot of other close friends who were going to protests and getting arrested. So we were like, this is not appropriate for us to do at this time. Mm-hmm. We don't feel this is a cool bill, and we'll bring it back maybe in the future. But right now, it's not the move.
Right.
And so we ended up canceling that one, and we were gonna push it, but but there was just conflicts with other live streams coming up. And one of the bands, their set was going to be basically just them like leaking this album that was just released like a week ago. So it just didn't make sense for us to do anymore. I would love to have that bill in person when it comes back at the Sanctuary in Detroit, specifically, if you're listening, Sanctuary, but or Alex Martin. So we nixed it. I was so sad, but because not to take credit, but I brainstormed that bill. And so now we're trying to get back into things. We kind of just like, it's been, damn it, sorry. It's been hard for us just here at the actual place I live and where there's a venue, because all of us who live here are big music people. Like, we all play in bands. We all, help do music stuff. Connor, who lives directly across the hall from me, books all the Summit Shack shows, or did before I got here. And he still books most of them, but and we all kind of just like fell off. We were all like, we don't want anything to do with music right now. Like, thinking about not having live shows and not touring is like draining me mentally. So now we're kind of trying to get back into doing things. We actually just planned an album release Minecraft stream, which will be announced next week, and it's got a really cool bill. It's kind of like just kind of going to be our like return at least like once, because we were doing these every month and then kind of fell off. But I think that it's hard to say, but the overall general consensus that we came to is that like we think that people need some sort of like live music and interactive experience again. And we even just like personally for ourselves, and I don't really know how to answer that question, Ari, because I don't think I have an answer.
I don't think that there's a right answer to that question.
Yeah.
We've gotten that question multiple times from different people, different artists, and honestly, it's all like your own personal choice.
Yeah.
So I would say if you feel weird about it, but you still want to do it, what you can do is maybe accept donations during a stream and donate them to Black Lives Matter. And
I have seen some people doing that. But I think, again, like I'm not the leading person who does live streams, like I'm trying to read the room and take direction from people who, have a little bit more experience in like the professional live music and like reaching out to other people for opinions and kind of seeing what's going on. But I think I've come to the conclusion where I'm okay with kind of, getting the ball rolling again a little bit,
Yeah, definitely.
Ask questions.
What?
I just fired out a tweet that was like, come ask questions.
Do you think live streams are going to continue when it's safe to tour again?
I don't, honestly, not really. I
think they will be different. I think it'll be more of like a once in a while thing for an artist.
Yeah, definitely. Like, because, okay, so it puts like, you probably, if you're preparing a live stream and you want it to be like really solid, you put in a couple hours work into it. If you're going on tour, which, okay, couple hours total, you practice with your band if you're doing it with a band. Songs, I'm assuming, are already written. Maybe you need to practice some unreleased songs. If you're on tour, that is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week of your energy that you are using. Like, doesn't matter what part of the tour you're on, doesn't matter how long your tour is. Like, if you are touring, and I do not think that live streams are going to still be a thing, because also just strictly from like a capitalistic perspective, like, why do live streams when you can play shows again? Why do live streams that you wouldn't get paid for when you can play shows again for money?
Right.
Like in similar cities. Like right now, it's not a big deal in terms of financially because no one's making money on shows.
Right.
But at least for like free live streams. But if I know it's a different experience, but I don't know if I would advise my bands to do it if we were at the point where we were touring again. Maybe if they hadn't been on tour for like 6 months, for like a long time. But just to kind of like keep interest. But in general, I don't think that on it, and I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong, but I don't think that live streams are really going to be.
I think it'll be like a little like different, obviously, because live tours are going to be things. So why would you have like a virtual tour? I don't know that a virtual tour will be a thing, but I still think like hopping on Instagram Live will be a thing,
Yeah. And I have some friends in a band, and they did a virtual tour, but what they did was they routed a tour, and instead of just doing like a live stream of like them every night, they found bands from that city to come on and also play on their live stream. So it was like, it was a show. You're getting local diversity in the bill every night. And I think that's really interesting because you're more inclined to tune in and be like, oh, okay, they're in my city tonight, so I'm going to tune in tonight,
Yeah, that's really cool. That's kind of like Daughtry is doing that a little bit. They're not, I don't think they have openers, but they did like only people in this area can like come to this show and it's for this venue.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. I don't know.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I think they're like donating part of the tickets that they're getting to those venues.
Yeah. That's the like really hard part. That's the part that I'm worried about coming out of this from a booking perspective. I don't book
I mean,
tours.
are there going to be venues left? Like what?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things where like are there going to be venues that are still left that like I still have connections at that I can still book at? I don't do a lot of booking, but like I have those connections. Like I can't be bothered to like be annoying people for a full US tour for like 15 bands, which is what some of my friends do. But but like it's gonna be really hard because there are a lot of historic, like amazing venues that are they're just done. Like they're never gonna come back. And it's wild. Like it's like I can
want people gonna come out of this itching to go to concerts like I am, or are people gonna come out of this terrified of large crowds and not able to because of anxiety?
I think it's probably gonna be like two ends of the spectrum.
Yeah,
like, it's gonna be one or the other.
One or the other.
And so yeah, that's the scary part for me is like just not being able to know what's really like going on there.
Yeah. I mean, your job doesn't exist anymore. You had to completely change your job.
Yeah. And you know, I'm always keeping an eye out for new opportunities, but we'll see how things go. And for anyone who thinks that I'm like anything fancy in the music world, this is my office in my bedroom, and I'm a fry cook. So I work 30 hours a week at a late night chicken place. So I'm a fraud, basically. No.
Oh my gosh.
But
all right. We've got like math. We've got like 8 minutes left.
Okay.
It is the sad truth. A very, very sad truth.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on?
I don't know. One of the bands I manage has an album coming out September 25th. That's not announced on the regular internet. It's not announced the regular internet, so all you watch on the live stream. I think Ari is still here. Now you know the release date. Yeah, it's this band called Nice. First single out next week. Maybe a music video, TBD. Yeah. What else we got? Live stream of that same band with that album, September 24th. Trying to think of other things. Listen, I can rattle off like 20 bands that everyone should listen to, and anyone listening to this live stream probably wouldn't like. Like, I am, you know, new album by this band Dikembe just came out. It's really good. New album called Soak just came out. That's really good.
All right.
If you need someone involved in marketing, please feel free to hire me.
Because as you can see, that is her office. Okay. All right. I think we're good. I think we're good to go. Thanks everyone for tuning in, for asking questions. Thank you, Ellie, for being here. You saved my butt today because I could not have someone.
Anytime. I'll come up. I love talking about this stuff. So
awesome. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.